Hello, everyone. This is Ted with OAXRAY, and today we're going to talk about ASD Marketplace, and we're also going to talk about some other things related to ASD based on some calls that I got. If you have a question for me today, please put that in the comments below so I can see what's going on. Kurt, I did not know my microphone was on. That was kind of funny. We were talking for like 5 minutes before I realized that it was all good. But everything is good to go. Yeah, so that's it right now. And if you have any questions, remember to put them down in the comments and I will answer those for you. And today I wanted to talk about ASD Marketplace Show. I am going to be there. Hello, Mario. Hello, Mr. Cheese Fart. That's a funny name. Create the I Can lifestyle. I know who that is. I will be seeing you tomorrow at the meetup. That's going to be awesome. Thomas and Kurt, thank you guys for commenting down there. I like to give you guys a shout out whenever you guys do. And if you have a question, put it down below. So the ASD Marketplace is just a huge marketplace where a whole bunch of suppliers from China are going to be there. Just suppliers from everywhere are going to be there. I can actually show you my screen, show you what. And it is taking place in Las Vegas this year. There are going to be over 4,000 vendors there, and we have the 3-day countdown going on right now. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and hopefully you guys can kind of see those things right there. So is anybody in the audience actually going to be making it out to ASD this year? You can put that in the comments also. That's going to be pretty cool information. I'm going to have a booth. It's going to be me and my partner Kevin, not business partner, but a friend of mine who is coming with me, going to help me out with the booth, help me talk to people about OAXRAY and just selling online in general. So Kevin's going to be there with me on Saturday all the way until the end of the show on the 22nd. So if you are in Las Vegas, come by, check out the booth, say hello. There's still time to register. You still have some time left. And you can go to asdonline.com to see all the information. Now, even if you are not going to be at the show, this is still very valuable. You can go to the ASD vendor directory right here, look at the show planner. You scroll down here, they're going to give you some tips. And if you can actually get a whole list. I think you have to sign up with your email, and then you're going to get a whole list of all the suppliers and everything here. And that gives you the option to source at all the places without actually going. Now, if you actually have the ability to go, that would be the best. So if you have the ability to go to Las Vegas and actually see the vendors in person, that is the way to go. But hopefully, if you don't, you're still going to look into a lot of the vendors that's going on. A lot of the vendors that will be there. Sorry. Kurt, how's the weather? Weather here is just kind of chilly, 40 degrees. We're in Virginia Beach, so that huge storm that knocked everybody out didn't even hit us, so we're good to go. And thanks for the info on the meetup the other day. Mario, you're in South Florida. I hope you were able to make it out to one of the meetups because they're just a good experience to go to. You can meet people who are selling a lot. And, all different skill levels. So you'll see beginners at the meetup, but you'll also see people who've been selling for 5 or 10 years. Me, I've been selling for about 8. So you will see some experienced people and some people who are just kind of getting started there. So I wanted to get into a phone call that I had today. I try to do a phone call or two every day with kind of a new seller who's just starting up. And today the topic was, how do I get started back into Amazon? This person hadn't sold on Amazon in about a year because of some issues. So now they're getting back into it, and they had a little bit of capital to start with. So what I wanted to do was tell you guys how you can get started with a little bit of capital and not break the bank, essentially. So if you are able to, if you have $1,000, or let's say under $1,000, and you want to do most of the business types that work on Amazon, let's say you want to go into private label or you want to go into retail arbitrage or online arbitrage or wholesale, you want to actually make a full-time living, and your margin is 30%, we can do the math on that. We can say you're going to need, if you want to make, let's say, $3,000 and you have $10,000 to spend every single month, you're going to need about $10,000. So, but if you're doing something like books where you can get started with $1,000 and you can make a couple dollars on each book, then it takes far less capital for you to get started. So for a lot of you guys who say that you have a budget, you're trying to get started just on a few dollars, it is awesome to be able to get started in something as easy as used books, and you're not as worried about the gating. There's a lot of gating going on right now, specific categories. So if you're kind of new starting up and you don't understand how things are getting restricted today, then it might be a good idea for you to just start with the used books. Does anybody have a question who is in the chat room, so I can start answering those questions for you guys? Cool. So Kurt, your sister lives in Virginia Beach. Tell her to come out to a meetup if she's interested in selling online. I know a lot of people have no interest in selling online, but then if you know someone who is and they're in Virginia Beach or they're in Norfolk, anywhere in Virginia, tell them to come on out. We'd love to have them at a meeting. We normally have 4 to 6 people depending on just kind of week by week. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less, but it's kind of a good place to start. Okay, great. So create the I Can lifestyle. How have things been going on your front? That is someone that I know. Create the I Can lifestyle. She does affiliate marketing. So if you have any questions about affiliate marketing, create the I Can lifestyle. She's right in the chat right now. You can click on her name and go see some of the things. Do you use any selling tools? And if yes, which do you recommend? So depending on what business model you're using will depend on which selling tools you're going to use. I think there are a few that are kind of universal. Hey, Keith. A few that are kind of universal that everybody kind of needs. If you're listing items and you want to know the profitability of those items, Inventory Labs is always a great place to start. I mean, you can go there or you can go with Scan Power, because I think that you need to know the numbers and you need to be able to look at the numbers and see which suppliers are doing best for you. So that is why, to me, Inventory Labs, Scan Power, or one of those programs that allows you to do that is going to be very important and as a tool that you will need. Now, as we get more specific, there's going to be different tools that will work for you a little bit better. So if you're scanning in store, you're probably going to need to find yourself a USB scanner or a Bluetooth scanner. It's not going to be too expensive for you. Let's say on the low end, we're talking $17 for a USB. But if you want to do a Bluetooth, kind of a higher end item, Bluetooth, we're talking all the way up to a couple $100. So Scott Carl, books didn't do it for me. I bought 10 different titles, about 5 each, but seems Amazon has the market cornered on the ones I have. Toys and electronics seem to do it for me. So Scott, what I need to know is, did you go out and scan those items before you purchased? Because it sounds like you just went out and bought 10 random books for $5 and maybe you didn't do enough research. But whenever you use an application like a seller tool, it's going to give you all of that information about the book that you're going to get before you actually purchase the book. And it's actually going to save you a ton of time, a ton of money, and it's just going to give you all of that information that you need. I'm trying to look for a screenshot here. So it's going to give you all of that information that you can use. For books, I like to use a seller tool. They have a tool called FBA Scan. It is in the marketplace. It's pretty easy to download. And that's essentially, it's going to be pretty close to the Amazon seller app. And, oh, cool. Okay, so Scott says, yes, I scanned them, bought for $1 each. Amazon sells them for about 20. Okay, so Scott, what does it sell for used would be the question. So if Amazon is selling those for 20 bucks, new, I assume they're selling them, then maybe you can get 10 or 15 used. Oh yeah, Amazon Seller app will work great for that. It's a little bit slower using the live data feed, but at least with the Amazon Seller app, it's free. And if you're just kind of trying it out, you can try it out. And the Umama, interesting. Hello, how you doing? If you're going to be in Vegas, post something in the comments saying I will see you in Vegas, and we can meet up at some point. You come by the booth and talk to us or talk to me about, just whatever about selling online. It would be cool. But I'm going to pull up an item on Amazon, and let's see what we can look for here. I'm going to do... So if you go to Amazon, whenever I'm looking for books on Amazon or to resell on Amazon, a seller tool or the Amazon Seller app is just going to kind of tell you how much items are selling for. So in this situation right here, I don't see any used. Do I see any used? This book right here, if you're in or near a college town, it wouldn't be very hard to find a book like this, which would be a college textbook, probably made a year or two ago, and selling for 73 bucks in a like new condition. So this is essentially what we're looking for. And these books are kind of far and few between. I mean, if you scout it all day and you scan a couple thousand books, you might only find a couple of these a day, maybe one, maybe two. But this is essentially what we're looking for. If you're near a college town and you have textbooks around, you should be able to find books like this occasionally that will be in stock. And as we scroll down, there's a lot more books that are in like the $5 or $10 range, like this right here. We can see that this is $14.99. Whenever you actually plug that into your FBA calculator, I have a calculator right here if it comes up. Oh, that's strange. And I'll just pull it up then. Amazon FBA calculator. I'm going to scroll down, see if I can find an ASIN for this item. Oh man, went back too far. See if I can find it. There it is. And I have a whole bunch of extensions running. I don't even know what this is. I think it's DS Amazon Quick View if you're interested in which extension that is causing the ASIN to pop up. And select you. So this is kind of the bread and butter. This is what most of the items that you're going to find whenever you're out there scouting for books, and you're generally going to pay like $1, maybe $2 for a book like this, and you'll make about $5 on it. So this is what we're looking for when we're out. Something selling in the $10 plus range, maybe 15 bucks. After fees, after fees and actually paying for it, you're gonna net out $5. But if you can do this, 100 times in a day or 50 times in a day, then we can see that this $5, which seems small right now, is actually going to add up to a good amount of sales. So keep scanning if that's how you got started, and hopefully with enough scanning, you're going to find something that works for you. I found them at 8, but I have them at 8, but I have them as new. Okay, Scott. I'd be kind of careful listing anything as new, especially if you found it I assume you found it at a thrift store. So if I'm sure that if you found it in a thrift store, you probably are not going to have the paper trail to back it up. Amazon could, if that item gets flagged or something, if that item gets flagged or something as being not new or something like that, people have lost their account or gotten their account suspended. So I would put anything that I find, especially at a thrift store, especially if I don't have a paper trail going back to a wholesaler, if I don't have a paper trail going back to a retailer like Walmart or something, then I probably would not list anything as new. I have seen some people do that and they get their, oh, okay, you bought it from a wholesaler. Oh, okay, Scott, we're talking a completely different language. I thought you were buying used books for resale. Yes, the wholesalers often, Amazon will sometimes sell items at a loss. So now that you said that, that makes complete sense. So I've seen it where a wholesaler has a book for $12. Amazon sells it for $9.99. So they're selling that book at a loss. And sometimes they do that to bring in more customers, or it's possible that they're just buying a million of the books. So they're getting such a huge discount that you don't get that discount. So as far as new books go, if Amazon is carrying it, it's going to be pretty difficult to get that from a wholesaler and make it profitable. I'm sure that someone on the stream might say they've done it before, but it's just my experience that it's going to be pretty difficult. The Umami says, I have a question about OAXRAY about the charge if you want me to ask you. Probably going to go to the live tech support, oaxray.com. If they can't help you, you can PM me because I don't know what the issue is, so I don't want to talk about any personal things on here. So Rock Buds, can you elaborate on getting unrestricted in categories like office products, home entertainment, and electronics there? There's a time when they were not restricted. Yeah, so Amazon has recently been restricting some things. Some things have been restricted for a while. I will see if I can get to a page that doesn't have any, any account information on it or something. But I'm going to kind of see if I can find that. But while we're looking at that, there's definitely some gating in some categories that are requiring approval these days. So it looks like, okay, let's go down here. I think we're good on the screen. So that's not it. Okay, so every different category will have different restrictions on what you need to actually get ungated in them. So if I go to automotive and I go to view requirements, see if that comes up. Often they will want you to have invoices and things like that. Let's see. So for automotive, I remember getting ungated in automotive. I did this one myself. What they made me do was I had to create a website. So I created my website. I had to make sure the images and the background met all these criteria. But this was a little while ago that I did this. But I had to make sure that all of the images and everything met this criteria. I remember it cost about $200 for me to do it, because I had to build a real website that they could actually go to. And from here, I just hit request approval, and they're going to give you exactly the steps that you need to take to get approved. There are some approval companies. I mean, you can pay them $500 to $1,000 I've seen, and they will try to get you ungated, and they're pretty good. I actually paid to get some categories ungated, but I actually did automotive myself. And one of the things that you have to remember is kind of have some products lined up or before you get approved, because it is going to cost you some money, or it's going to cost you a lot of time. So if you're going into health and beauty and you have products lined up, then in that case, it's probably going to be worth it for you to take the time and actually get ungated. So Rockbud says they want me to have either a website or an authorization from a manufacturer. How do I go about getting those invoices? Okay, so find some brands that you would like to carry. Generally, a major brand is going to have generally the major brand is going to have a listing of all the distributors for that brand. So if I'm selling, I don't know, if I'm selling iPhones, Apple is not necessarily going to sell it to me. they might say these are the list of authorized retailers for this product. Then you go on the website, you contact those people individually, and then you try to become a wholesaler. They're going to give you a list of things that maybe you need to do. Some will say you have to have a physical store. Some will say they don't really care. They will sell to anybody. Some will say you have to sign a MAP agreement, agreeing that you're going to keep the price at a certain amount. So there's just going to be a whole bunch of different kind of hoops you need to jump through. Sometimes there's none. I found some wholesalers where I just contacted them, said I wanted to buy this, and they said okay. And once you get, depending on the category, Amazon might ask for a few different things. From what I've seen, an invoice will work, or sometimes they've asked for an authorization to actually sell it online. So in that case, you're going to have to tell them that you're selling online and then get a written authorization from them. But let me see if I can think of, let's see. So I'm just looking at the Nike authorized retailer. I just typed that into Google, and let's see if there's any easy way on their site that I can explain this to you guys or actually show you. So I don't see anything on the Nike website, but most websites should have it, and they should show you exactly how you can get in contact with a wholesaler or distributor of their products, and they can give you that information just on the website. So if you don't find it on one, just try a different wholesaler depending on what the category is. So if it's in automotive, just take your 10 top brands, look for a distributor, and hopefully one of them will say it's okay for you to sell online. I know a lot of people or a lot of brands are now saying they don't want you to sell online, so you might have to go through 10 or 15 before you find one that actually lets you sell. If your only goal is to get ungated in the category, then you might just purchase a few items that maybe they break even, and then you get yourself ungated, and then you sell the items that you really want to sell. But make sure you get those invoices and you just have kind of a paper trail. The Omama tried out OAXRAY and says, okay, so OAXRAY allows you to do a 10-day free trial, and if you want to quit at any time, you can quit whenever you want to. If you're like a couple days over, you forget or something, and OAXRAY is not working out for you, then simply ask for a refund. We'll refund you. It's not a big deal. If you're not using it, some people, they think they're going to use it and then they don't use it too much. So no problem. We will not give you a hassle there. If I have a product listed for FBA, is it possible to change the ASIN? So the ASIN follows that product around. You can't change the ASIN on anything once it is set in the system. And you shouldn't relist an item, especially if it's already for sale on Amazon. If you're going to do something, then try to improve the listing so that people can actually, so that people come to the same listing, come to the same listing, and maybe you optimize it. So maybe there's a listing and it doesn't have a good picture with it. So you can optimize the listing rather than try to create the identical listing just with a different product. So that's what I would do rather than try to create a new ASIN for the same product. Amazon doesn't want duplicates. They already have I believe it's over 100 million items in their inventory. So, or on their website. So they don't want duplicate products. And actually a couple years ago, they were going through and trying to delete duplicate products. Rock Buds, it's a bit frustrating leaving money on the table, knowing that items will sell, but I'm restricted. So Rock Buds, you can take a week or take a few days and just apply for every single category. I'm approved in most categories because I just took out the time and just really, I just really sat there and just got approved. The good thing about the approval process is it's not really hard, but it's a little bit of work. So most people aren't going to do that work. So before, if there was a category and it wasn't gated, 100% of the competition would find the item and they would all go in and sell that item. Now, 90% of people aren't going to jump through the hoops to get ungated. So now you're sitting here with 10% of the population who's willing to do the hard work, get the ungated, get the stuff ungated. So now you just have less competition on those listings. So that's one of the reasons, Rock Buds, you're finding that there's profitable items in gated categories, because people are not actually doing the work to get themselves ungated. So thank you a lot. Very helpful. I've been having car trouble lately, so I can't go out and thrift. I'm fresh to OA, and I've been watching your videos in the past couple days. So Rock Buds. Now, you're the perfect person that I've been pitching this idea, and nobody has done it. And my thought is Ubertrage. So we have arbitrage, we have online arbitrage, we have retail arbitrage. Rock Buds, I want someone to do some Ubertrage. Why? Because in most major cities, they have Uber. In most major cities, they will let you rent the Uber car weekly. So you get a brand new car that you get to drive around because it's low rental. You make money while you're Ubering. So that's going to cover all your gas. That's going to cover all the bills. And then let's say you get dropped off in a part of town. That's where the ride takes you. You get dropped off and there's a thrift store right there. You turn off your Uber app. You walk into the thrift store. You find some books. You throw it in your trunk. Hopefully, it doesn't look too messy in there, just in case you get someone to the airport and they have luggage or something like that. So once you're able to get some rides going, you get a little bit of cash, you have the new car, and that's what I call Ubertrage. So I've been milling that one around, but I've been looking at someone to do it. So hopefully, Rock Buds, you take out the time, look into Uber. Maybe you get yourself a new car, and you can do some Ubertrage. And if that becomes big, you heard it first on the OAXRAY channel. So hopefully that works out. What is U.S. core free shipping? I'm not sure what that question is right there, so I'm just going to skip it. But what I wanted to talk about, I'm going to go do a quick screen share here, was Market Pulse actually did a survey. I have no idea how they get all of this information, but they kind of gather this information somehow. And it says over 100,000 new sellers join Amazon every month, approximately. But last 12 months, they detected close to 700,000 new sellers joining Amazon. Now, if you've already seen this stat, I would like you to guess how many people you think actually, after the 12 months has gone by, it says it right there, so I can't ask a question because it says it on my screen. But anyways, approximately only 10%, about 70,000 sellers actually kept selling for longer than 3 months. So 90% of people give up in the first 3 months when they're selling on Amazon. So that is kind of crazy. And 200,000 new sellers had a sale in their first year. So 72% of new sellers end up never listing anything for sale, which is just crazy when you think about it. And at the end of a year, let's see, these numbers just seem crazy. 700,000 new sellers started. 70,000 kept selling for longer than 3 months. 38,000, so it got cut in half again, started selling for longer than 6 months. And by the end of the year, only 15,000 were actually active. So we're talking about like 2% of, that's crazy. Only 2% of people who started off at the out of the 700,000 actually at the end of the year was still selling. Oh man, that's insane. I didn't think the drop off was was that much, but maybe I'm reading something wrong because that just seems so low. That looks like it's right. So, well, anyways, so what ends up happening is a lot of people just start up an Amazon account. Maybe they have a book or two, and they just end up not really ever becoming active. So if that's you and you have some question or something is just kind of holding you back from starting selling on Amazon, just ask me whatever the question is, and hopefully I can help you get started, because out of 700,000, only 15,000 finish out the year. That seems pretty bleak. So hopefully there's some way I can help you guys and get people started. Whew, dang, doesn't surprise me. Kurt says doesn't surprise me. Okay, so Kurt, you were correct as far as what I can remember. There's so many people in the Facebook groups who I meet who start up, they're excited, and then after 6 months or a year, I don't see from or hear from them anymore. And I really didn't think that it was that high of a drop off. But I guess some people just start off with what's in their garage, or maybe they never really intended to make a business out of it. But I just thought it would be higher numbers than that. So saw you on Rake and Profit. Been watching since. Great content. Rake and Profit, that was cool program to be on. He is really good host. I'm sure before his videos he doesn't actually start his audio feed by mistake anymore. I am still learning those little things, and hopefully I can provide half the good content that he does. So it's just kind of awesome to be able to be on a show and talk to him. Good dude. Steve Rakin, and I enjoyed being on the show. And hopefully we can do some more shows in the future, because I like to talk. I know he's more like the thrift store guy. He's out there hunting. But I mean, those are my roots. I love being on the thrift store hunt because it's just cool. I mean, nothing beats the high of finding that $100 book and finding that $100 book and knowing that you're only paying 50 cents for it or whatever it is. And, you just find that book or that item in the thrift store and you see it sell and you're like, I can't believe that this 50 cents just turned into $300 or whatever you're able to sell the item for. So it's always good to be able to do that. So we have 12 people on here. Let's get some questions going. Throw out a question there that you may have for me. I will try to answer it. I might not have all the answers, but hopefully anything you ask, I will be able to answer for you there. I am going to ASD Las Vegas, so if anybody here is going to ASV, put that in the comments so I will, know that you're going to be there. There's a whole bunch of different events that are like kind of after, I don't want to say after parties, I guess after parties, kind of meetings where it's going to be people doing, I love these shows. Okay, so the best part about like ASD and any of these shows is you can see that literally anything can be done on Amazon. So I met someone last in the C-commerce cruise. I love talking about C-commerce cruise because I met the coolest person. She lives in Bali. Now think about all of the just think about all of the people who want to live in paradise. And, you hear about, you see the commercials and it's like, you can live here on this beach and work from home. And, you kind of think that that's out of the reality. I actually met somebody who lives in Bali and is actually, over there working from home using the internet to make her income. And then she can take trips to China. She can take trips just, anywhere she wants to. She's living the life that she wants because she built, she wants to actually live there. She wants to live out of the country. She wants to live where there's a beach right next to her and she can afford it. With the thing about Amazon is you can sell from anywhere. So it's kind of cool to be able to go to a country where things are not quite as expensive. So you can go over to Bali where the cost of living is $1,200 a month or whatever it is, and you can make a good income, and you could still do your Amazon business. You can make money, and you can be in paradise. So that is real. If you're sitting here thinking like, I'm in I don't know, Maine, and the weather kind of sucks, and the people, maybe they're not friendly. I'm just making this up. So if you're from Maine, don't get insulted. But if that's you, you can literally learn your business, get yourself doing some wholesale, some OA, or some private label. She does a lot of private label, and go wherever the heck you want. Figure out what the cost of living is there, and you can move anywhere. And that's not one of these pitches that you hear on like late night TV where they're like, you're going to start this business and it's going to, make you $1 million a day. But this is something that really people can do. Regular people like you and I can start an online business, wholesaling or doing whatever it is, and actually move out to Bali, move out to wherever it is you want to go. So remember that everything is just wide open. What info should be in a letter or an email to start wholesaling? There is no kind of formula to starting the wholesale. I generally try to contact people in a fairly professional way, but some people have asked me for tax information right away. Some people ask you for tax information right away. Some people are going to, not even ask you for that. So everybody kind of varies on what they're going to ask for. Some bigger brands are going to tell you what you need ahead of time. But if you're if you're meeting with some of these smaller wholesalers, then they're going to be just as small as you are, and they're not going to have kind of a system set up in place to where you have to meet all these requirements and things like that. I like to work with smaller wholesalers. Scott says, I love Maine. I got out of the rat race in southern New England. Problem is there isn't many places to get products here. Trying to wholesalers to work with me to build this business. Yeah, so you might have to travel a little bit to make those things happen. I don't know what's created in Maine, like if there are any wholesalers up there, but maybe you will have to do a few plane trips and meet people locally, and hopefully you can find something, build some relationships. So something like ASD might be for you because you're actually going to be able to meet people in person. And in Maine, I think the population is not too high, so you're probably not looking at as many wholesalers up there. You're probably not looking at as much RA or anything like that. Do you still do retail arbitrage? I saw a video where you're talking about B source close to you. Okay, so I haven't done retail arbitrage. Let's see. Actually, that'd be a lot. Okay, so I went to a store to do some retail arbitrage. Occasionally, I send items in. I actually sent in about 180 items a couple days ago, but I do not do too much retail arbitrage anymore. If I do something, it will be online arbitrage, and I do that occasionally. Okay, yeah, and I do that occasionally, but it's not too often that I go out. I try to do as much for OAXRAY as I possibly can. My goal is to show my grandchildren how they can go through college and graduate debt-free and never flip a single burger. I think, Thomas, what you're doing is a good job. I remember when I was 12, my dad showed me that I can go out and cut grass and make $20 to $40 a yard, generally like $20. So generally, and I could make $20 a yard cutting grass, or $30 a yard cutting grass, or I can flip burgers and I can make $5 an hour. I learned at a fairly young age that you can start your own business and you can actually make a lot more money, and you can make it faster by doing something on your own. Plus, you're building a skill. I mean, if you're if you build an Amazon business, even if it's and you're a young kid, I mean, you're going to learn about cost of goods sold. You're going to learn about a little bit about marketing. You're going to learn about optimizing listings. And while optimizing a listing might not seem like it transfers to things, optimizing a listing is similar to optimizing a website, getting those keywords in there. So there's just so much you're going to learn, even if they don't do it long term. There's just so many things that they can learn. And being a college kid on campus kind of gives you that edge where you have all these books available to you. You know, you can talk to other students, say at the end of a semester, and you're in a class with 40 students who all have their books. Are you going to resell that? Or, you know, how about I pay you $30 for this this year's, you know, science book. You know, so if you're in college, you can definitely pay your way through. And I'm kind of a debt-free guy, especially when it comes to things like college. You know, I'm not saying that no one should ever be in debt, but for college, I feel like there's a lot of things that you can do to try to graduate debt-free. So that is definitely something that I encourage, and hopefully, you know, everybody's able to do. I know not everybody's able to do that, but let's see. I've been full-time on eBay, part-time on FBA, trying to increase my sales. This is Rock Buds, but restrictions on Amazon. Any recommendation? Okay, so I don't know if I addressed this already. Don't really remember. But let's say take whatever you're finding the most, and I like to take notes. Every time you find an item that you want to buy, that's restricted, mark what category it's in. Keep a little notebook with you, or, you know, keep a little note on your phone. And what you're going to find is a trend, and maybe that trend is, dang, I found 20, and you can even keep like a math, kind of a total calculator on there as well. So maybe you say, I found 20 items in the automotive category, and each one would have netted me $10 each. So I missed out on 200 this week from the automotive category. And then you can kind of make a mathematical decision on, if I'm losing 200 a week from the automotive category, maybe it's worth me paying 500, or maybe it's worth me hiring somebody from Upwork to create the website, to create the images and do everything properly, and then get myself ungated. So I would kind of do it in a mathematical way, but that's just me. I'm kind of like a math guy myself. I like to look at what can be done mathematically and not just, you know, what you kind of do. So does anybody else have a question here? We're coming up on the 45-minute mark. So if we have any questions, I'd like to get them in now. I don't know how long we'll go, maybe another couple minutes. So if you have something for me, let's ask it in the chat room. Matt Adolph, will you be there for the meetup? So I've got two people still here, but two people from my local meetup who are here on the live stream, and you know, they're able to ask me questions in person. So I'm sure that hopefully I'm able to answer everything. Matt had a question for me today. I don't remember what that question was. You know, I have my phone right here, so I'm going to pull that up and I'm going to answer it for you guys live on here. And that is, let's see, that is where's a prep center that's in a tax-free state? So if you don't know about prep centers, they can be located anywhere around the United States, but the importance of being in a tax-free state is that you are able to then, whenever you send that item to that state, you don't get charged sales tax. So in my state, sales tax is like 5.6%. So if you save 5% on everything you buy, that prep center is actually saving you money. So that is why he asked, and I told him to go to Prime Prep Zero. If you don't know who they are, you can find them on Facebook. They essentially pack all your items so that they are ready for Amazon. So they're ready for sale on Amazon. They'll slap the label on there. You don't have to pay Amazon 30 cents for that. They'll polybag things, and it just makes that that much easier for you. So if you're in Bali, if someone can work out the whole Bali thing, or not necessarily Bali, but if you can live somewhere, someone actually called me from Jamaica the other day, and they were starting an online arbitrage business, and they were able to actually, uh, you know, actually able to sell on Amazon US, but they're living in Jamaica right now. Sorry, newbie question. How much competition is there for online arbitrage? So, there's competition for online arbitrage just like there is for retail or any of the other things. The difference is if you're on a major website, you probably have a few weeks, maybe a month of selling that product before other sellers generally will come in, because there is something, if you're brand new, you might not know what a BOLO group is, but there is something called BOLO groups, which means be on the lookout. And those groups often, let's say an item goes for sale on Walmart today for half off, $5, and selling on Amazon for 15. In a BOLO group, they will post that and they will tell everybody in the group, hey, this item's for sale on Walmart for $5 and it's on sale for Amazon for $15. And that causes competition and the price to go down on those items. So what you're going to need to do, and what I like to do, is I like to buy from sites that are lesser known. So for instance, Walmart, everybody knows what Walmart is. So if you buy the first Lego toy that pops up on Walmart, chances are you're going to get more competition on that item than if you go to tedstoys.com and maybe I have some unique toys that no one is really searching. So OAXRAY, there's like 468 sites or something like that. The more mainstream the website, generally the more competition there will be. And the less mainstream the website, generally the less competition there will be. There's a few things you can do to avoid the competition. One would be buying out whatever's left of the stock. If something is available only at one store, an example of a store that I did this, where do you find BOLO groups? You know what? I don't even know because I'm not part of one, but there's a bunch on Facebook. I'll bet you if I type in BOLO, let me see. BOLO. Yeah, so right, the first thing that pops up is the BOLO exchange, and people essentially scan, or essentially you find an item, I find an item, we both trade BOLO items. So I will trade you my $5 ROI item and you trade it for your $7 ROI item, and that's how we kind of trade. There's also paid groups. Let's see, let me think of one. I think FBA Masters, or I know Sam, let's see. Amazon, I'll bet you if you type in Amazon BOLO, let's see. Okay, great. So yeah, I see a few. Just type in Amazon BOLO, BOLO, in Facebook, and you're going to come up with a bunch of people. And let me see, I can log in. There's no personal information. Yes, okay, so I'm just randomly on Amazon, and we have a few groups which say eBay and Amazon sellers BOLO group. If we scroll down, we get BOLO group free. This one, like free BOLOs, want Amazon flips. That's a retail sourcing one. Now, some of these will be retail. Some of these will be not retail, but they will be online arbitrage. So it just depends on what the BOLO group offers. But there's just going to be kind of a wide range of different BOLO groups. Here's Amazon Reseller BOLO Guide. And some are paid, some are free. Anything that's free, if it has 2,000 members in it, you're going to have to think that there's going to be a lot of competition on that item because there's just so many free BOLOs going out there. South Florida seller, hello. I hope you made it out to the meetup that we talked about last time in somewhere in South Florida. I think it's Miami that thing was in. So I think it was you and someone else on here was trying to go to a meetup. So hopefully that worked out for you guys, or maybe it wasn't in between this week and last week, so maybe you haven't made it yet. Will reading the online arbitrage book help with OAXRAY? So the online arbitrage book gives you a lot of different tools, tips, help with online arbitrage in general. So it's going to possibly help you find stack gift cards and just do a whole bunch of different things on online arbitrage. It's not specifically related to OAXRAY, but it is specifically related to online arbitrage in general. Mario, you made it to the group. Tell me how that was. I might want to talk to you at one of these days because I want to see what they are doing at that meeting so I can kind of start implementing some things. Our meetup can always get better locally, and hopefully we can attract some more people. Actually, 5 to 6 is good. I like it to be kind of personal. I get to talk to everyone. So that's always good. So hopefully, Matt, I answered your question. South Florida seller, I don't know if you made it. So let me know if you made it to the Miami meetup. And if anybody else has found like an awesome meetup, just let me know where it is. Put it in the comments or something, because I travel a ton. So if I travel somewhere, I love to go to a meetup so that I can kind of see how those are run. I can see, what they're doing, what works for them, and we can, yeah. Oh, Carlos is a great guy, always willing to help. Yeah. So being at the meetup actually helps. You're thinking, well, this is my competition, but there is just so many different business styles out there that chances are you're going to find that people are not doing the same thing that you're doing all the time. Like, a lot of people are like, I'm selling books, I got to keep this thing a secret. But generally, you're selling books, someone else is selling Harley Davidson t-shirts, or they're selling private label or whatever it is. So there's so many people who are selling the opposite thing of what you're selling. So even though there is a competition aspect, a lot of it it doesn't matter because there's just so many ways to make money on Amazon. If anybody's tried out the merch or, one of those, just let me know how that goes. I know I've only had a couple of merch shirts available. Like, I don't know, I have like probably 15 or 20, but I sell one like every single day. I probably sell like 7 a week or something, but I need to get some more designs up. So if anybody's had some success, I'm just kind of curious if you can just post it in the comments there. South Florida seller, not yet, but I will. I just got here, so I don't know the mention. Oh, the weather. It's a little bit cool, but we missed all the snow. We're in Virginia Beach, north of us, where they got like 20 inches or whatever it was. It was absolutely insane. Luckily, the snow missed us. Hey, South Florida seller, let me know if you're going to ASD. That's in Las Vegas. I think it's next week. It starts on Sunday to Wednesday. That's going to be a pretty good show. And the weather here is good. Everything is safe here. I met someone who was kind of snowed in up in Pennsylvania today. I just talked to him on the phone. So, some people are having kind of a harder time than others. But for me, I'm good to go. And hopefully we don't have any more storms. Hopefully this is the last one and no one else gets snowed in. But I guess you can still do online arbitrage. So if you were doing RA and you're snowed in and you're in one of these cities, then switch over to online arbitrage for a week. Hopefully your power works, because as long as the power works, then you can do online arbitrage as long as the internet's working also. Okay, we are winding down. It is 7:54. I'm getting tired. I don't see any questions right now, so I am going to say good night to everybody. I'm going to be doing this Tuesdays and Thursday. Oh man, Scott got 24 inches. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm going to be here Tuesdays at 7 and Thursdays at 7. Should be every week, but next week I go to ASD. So I'm going to bring the laptop and I'm going to try to do like a live show from ASD, and I'll just talk about some cool things I saw throughout the day. Hopefully I can do that on Tuesday, and then I'll be back in town on Thursday, so I should definitely be able to do a live stream then. But yeah, see me on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Thursday, 7 o'clock. Be on Eastern Standard Time. Be on here, and we'll talk then. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Make some money using OAXRAY.